Hello, my name is Jacob. This is the second video in a quick series about how to map sidewalks in OpenStreetMap using the ID editor. So I'm going to skip all the rest of the introductions. Please see the first video if you want more of that and how to get started. We're going to dive right in and do some mapping in the ID editor. So at the top of the ID editor here, we have the point, line, and area buttons. These are all going to be really useful as you're mapping because these are how we draw new elements into the OpenStreetMap database. So right now we can see these two roads here, but these sidewalks pictured in this aerial image layer are not visible or they're not represented by OpenStreetMap data. So let's change that. I'm going to go up here and click the line button. In the future, I'm going to use the 2 key because that's the shortcut for line. And when I click on that, you can see my cursor turns into a crosshair. And that is showing me that when I click, I'm going to start drawing a line onto the map. So I'm going to click, and now as I draw my cursor around, you can see I'm starting to form a line. And I'm going to click and drag actually and start following this sidewalk up here, up north, and allow the imagery to catch up with me as I go. This is a very linear sidewalk. So if I, for example, click again here, I've now placed another node along this way. And as you can see, that way is pretty straight. It follows the sidewalk pretty well. I'm going to keep clicking and dragging and drop another node here at this intersection. And I can see that this sidewalk actually turns right. So I am going to follow the right turn, and I'm going to click on top of this alley, and then I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard to finish drawing the line. And now you can see the line, or the way, is selected, and I have completed drawing the way. All right, so this is currently untagged. This is a way in OpenStreetMap with 0 metadata, and if I clicked on it, you see in the left panel here, it just says line, and it's actually warning me. It's saying this line has no tags. So we want to fix that. I'm going to click on this box right here to change the feature type. I'm just going to start typing sidewalk, and sure enough, it popped up right there at the top. If I click on that, I can say, yes, this is a sidewalk. And there's going to be all sorts of different further options to add more metadata to the sidewalk. So one example is we can specify the surface of the sidewalk. Taking a closer look at this imagery, I can see this is a concrete sidewalk, so I'm going to say it is concrete. All right, and another trick here as we're drawing more ways into OpenStreetMap using the ID editor is that at the end of a way here, I can click and drag to change where that node is, and you can see I'm dragging that sidewalk just about anywhere. I'm going to put it right back where I found it. If I right-click, it gives me this little toolbar like these options, and the first option here is to continue the way, and that's exactly what I want to do because I want to continue drawing this sidewalk all the way out and connect it to this, this road right over here. And hitting enter finishes that operation. All right, so now that we're getting comfortable drawing lines or ways in OpenStreetMap, I would like to draw a couple more, and I'm going to go a little bit faster this time to show you sort of how this works in practice. So I'm going to be using the 2 shortcut on my keyboard to enter line drawing mode. And I'm going to start by hitting 2, clicking on that node, and dragging it out here. I'll explain my reasoning in just a second. 2, click, drag, click, enter. 2, click, drag, click, enter. Okay, so what have I done here? I have brought the sidewalk elements out to this curb, and then I've drawn what's going to be an unmarked crossing between these curbs. So on top of mapping the sidewalks that run along the roads, it's also valuable for us to draw in where people might cross the roads. That might be a marked crosswalks with markings painted on the street, for example, or it's an unmarked crossing where there's an intention to cross, but there's no painted markings on the road. All right, so how are we going to tag this? That's the most important question, right? So if I click on this line and I click on this change feature type button and I start typing unmarked, Sure enough, the first option is an unmarked crossing. And then this is really important here. ID is going to give you a lot of suggestions for how you might map things as you go. And this is telling me, hey, this unmarked crossing crosses a road here, Fendel Avenue, but they don't have an intersection node, and they really should. And I agree. So I'm going to click connect using a crossing, and just like that, it created a new node for me right here, and it has that special symbol to show it itself is denoting an unmarked crossing. And that's great. That's exactly what we're looking for. So now I'm going to do something fancy here. I'm going to click on these two stubs using the Shift key to select both of them. And then I'm going to tag these as sidewalks as well. So these are sidewalk elements that connect from the sort of corners out onto the street. And that ends there at the two curbs. And then between the curbs, inside of the carriageway, we'll call it, is the crossing. All right, I think I've covered enough in this video, so I'm going to leave things there. Catch me in the next video to talk a little bit about how we map curbs and what kinds of added metadata we might put into this crossing as we continue to map in OpenStreetMap. See you then.